Hey guys, and welcome to my Mongol build order. Here is the idea for the build. I've shown you some army compositions that should be roughly okay in a number of situations. These are good units to get in general. Men-at-arms, springals, archers and crossbowmen are always good, and so are lancers. So this is your general army composition. But Mongols are one of the most difficult faction. There's a lot of counterplay, there's early aggression, and they're one of the most artistic to play. Without having access to walls and being forced to be aggressive all the time and have map control, you can get advantage from a number of different early age aggressions. You can get aggressive as early as Dark Ages, and then you can be aggressive in Feudal, while suddenly teching fast to Castle Age, the third one, as you can start to build springals with your infantry in the battlefield. One of the strongest things about the Mongols is how aggressive they can be and that they can make springals with their infantry. So a lot of this build is involved with archers, men-at-arms and crossbowmen, even if their lancers are good as well if you get to castle. There are a lot of different factions you can be against, and for this build order I wanted to show you a general army composition and plan per every faction. But as I start the build order, we're going to be playing against the French. This is still a faction that we face roughly the most, so I'm going to be picking the French build order, where we generally think of an army composition involving spears, archers and springals. Now the archers are potentially replaceable by Mangudai. Mangudai can counter French Royal Cavalry quite well if you keep running away, but it does need more micro, and Mangudai get countered harder by archers than archers themselves. You also probably need a water start in order to sponsor the food costs that Mangudai have. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And you need Castle Age in order to afford the gold that Mangudai cost with the step redoubt. So while I might do Mangudai spears on a map like Black Forest, I might not on a map like Dry Arabia. I'm going to be playing on Lipany here against hardest AI, and we're going to be following the pattern of spears into archers into springals. And we are going to be a little bit aggressive during the Dark Ages. Keep in mind that the Mongols get bonuses for setting buildings on fire, and this hurts them and helps you. So if you're ready for it, let's begin. First thing you're going to do is you're going to move your town center to a place that has wood. That is the most important thing. You're going to take your villager and immediately make an uvu. You're going to be taking some sheep. You control group your town center. You're going to bring the villagers back. You're going to make this uvu, and then you're going to set every villager initially on wood. This is because we are looking to be aggressive early, to kind of try to disrupt the French. You can use Tower Rush or early spears to try to slow down the French player. So we're going to keep our villager that made the uvu right here and start with one early barracks. You'll often find that making a few early units not only gets you ready for their pressure, but it also gets you ready for getting a lot of vision, slowing them down a bit, and so on and so forth. Okay, we have gotten 150 lumber. We now leave one villager on wood. We start an early barracks. We put everyone on food as we keep scouting around with the Khan. And then every new villager goes to wood for now. Spearmen cost 60 food and 20 wood. And with the stone that the uvu generates, we can make use of a special ability where we double train villagers and make sure to keep using maneuver arrow to move around faster. We can double train spearman, I should say, for the price of one. But we need 60 food and 20 wood for each. So we're now going to take our villager and bring it back to sheep. And then we're going to start 2 spearmen at a time. And we want to know where they are already. We're not going to do only the sheep scouting. Okay, now every villager goes back to food. And our spearmen are in production. There's the first 2 spears. We have found them. We're going to send our spears there. We're going to use the division arrow. And we're going to make 2 more spears. Just 4. Okay, now that we've done that, we have enough lumber. We're going to bring back our Khan. He's gonna bring back the sheep so that we have a food supply. We're just gonna leave actually 2 villagers on wood and everything else on food. The spearmen go see if they can harass the enemy's gold. We'll drop these sheep off. And the only thing we need now is 100 wood for a gur. Don't get in range of the town center with your spears. Okay, the sheep have been dropped off. Now let's see if we can be aggressive at all. Keep making villagers at a steady rate and put everything on food. Okay, we now have 100 wood. We're gonna make a gur next to the gold. And that's gonna get us to the next age. So, after spears, if they have a gold mine camp that you can attack safely without getting attacked by the town center, that's now going to be your target. We will pretend that this windmill that the AI so unceremoniously made in range of my spears is in fact something that we can harass, like his mining camp. And normally people won't be having a mill here that soon, most likely. But then again, if they're Delhi, they might. Okay, we've made the gur. We're gonna put 4 villagers on gold, and everything else is on food. Now, every building you burn, you get gold and wood for that. Gold and food. But that's gonna give us a nice 50 extra. There we go, 50 food and 50 gold. Now, a fun trick you can do is to leave it alive, see if an enemy tries to save it by repairing it, and then you come back later, harass them again, and then you can burn it again. We're gonna put 7 to make the deer stones. The deer stones is an economy buffing building. Everything next that we get now is gonna go on wood. We want to get our wood supply up so that we can make an archery range and a blacksmith when we get to the second age. And we're gonna make those next to our uvu. I'm not gonna actually set this on fire all the way because that would give me an unrealistic amount of resources early game. And that would ruin the build order. But imagine as if I was able to do that. We need to make sure that no matter how many villagers we build this with, we have enough wood when we get to Feudal to make an archery range. The blacksmith can follow soon after. Spears shouldn't be able to pick up villager kills, so I won't be doing it now to make the simulation more realistic. There we go with archery range. And just every now and then use the vision arrow, the scouting falcon, to see what they're up to as we kind of find an opening and an angle. So blacksmith is going to cost 150 lumber, so that's 300 lumber total required. Can make it with the one that finishes the archery range. Gonna make sure that we have about this type of villager split. Now our plan against the French player is to have enough spears to resist their cavalry, and that means we need to actually keep producing spears again. We also want to get the upgrade to hardened spear technology. And we have to think, what if they harass us with Royal Cavalry? Now, I'm making this at 6:30, but you're gonna want to make that a little earlier. So feel free to have loads of villagers on wood, which actually gives the Mongols a lot of flexibility. If he has cavalry here now, we would pull back and make spears. We would protect our gold. And more than likely than not, he'll be like saving them up. But if he sends them right to you, you needed to have that outpost ready. Outposts are pretty cheap for Mongols, and you want to spam them. Okay, let's go make our blacksmith now. And we keep making spears and archers, and we can use that double production from the stone. Our goal now is to stay alive, get our gold and food nicely up. We've pretty much made as many wood investments as we need right now. We're making archers, And we're making spears. But now we want to think about castle age. So the towers are supposed to keep our villagers safe, so that we're allowed to be aggressive. So we need a lot of food incoming now, which also means that we're going to be starting to look for alternative food sources, which you can use your army for, but it also means that you need a tower there. And the cool thing about the deer stones, it gives a village movement speed bonus to everyone inside of this. Gonna keep making archers and spearmen. And towers actually extend that, and it's called the Yam Aura. Cavalry and traders near an outpost gain 15% movement speed for 20 seconds. So even when you leave the area, you still have it. The deer stones makes that apply to infantry as well. So you see that little aura is super helpful. So now we're making a tower and we're making a gur so we can start harvesting some deer. We're not going to need as much wood right now. So we're going to take those off and get lots of food so we can get to the next stage. We keep making spears and archers and try to just do that at a very steady rate. Then from the blacksmith, you're gonna get steeled arrow the moment it finishes. 5 on gold is an okay amount to keep. We still have plenty of sheep. We're gonna be harvesting those. And our goal should be to go to castle maybe as early as 10 minutes. So it really depends how much pressure you are feeling and how much pressure you're dealing and how much food you're using for production, whether you're gonna be able to make good on that. In terms of upgrades, I would recommend probably survival techniques if you're going to be on top of deer like this. It's a very valuable upgrade, and while I'm getting it now, you should get it immediately when it becomes available. If you think it's going to be going to the deer, that helps you gather from those a lot quicker. The outpost helps with safety if there's a royal cavalry attack, and as a rule you should have an outpost for every 5 villagers that you've got somewhere. I have been passive with my army, but that's because I'm explaining this and that. You're gonna want to be active with it to either defend or pressure some villagers when possible. And normally, when I played this just now against the player, against Ente, I was right in front of his base and we kept skirmishing. And it makes everything feel a little different. But here's what's gonna happen. Oh, the Khan is back. Khan respawns automatically. Here's what's gonna happen normally. You're gonna get your enough food in order to make your H3 landmark. Alright, you're gonna then make that. The step readout, you make it right next to the gold with everyone that's at the gold. Then you can uproot your gur and you can set it on the woods to optimize wood income in that location. You're gonna get probably ranged armor. The gur is gonna come over here to optimize wood income. You now have at Feudal, you have an attack speed arrow that should be used every time for your archers. That makes them attack at 1.12 attack speed instead of 1.5, which is an attack every 1.12 seconds. The step readout is going to give you 50% bonus gold, and that is going to be absolutely crazy. Now, when you get to this age, you can already have started siege engineering. You don't have to wait till H3, and that's going to allow you to make springles. So at this time, you're gonna have as many food villagers as you need for non-stop villager production and for archer production. But we're gonna redistribute fairly heavily into wood right now. So you're gonna leave about 12 on food, you're gonna leave 12 on gold, and then you're gonna put everything else on wood. Then you're gonna get the veteran archer upgrade. You're gonna keep making archers, or if you like to, you can also switch to crossbowmen. This one depends the most on how many archers you still have alive. So let's say, for instance, that most of our archers are dead, or we only have like 9. Then we just make a full switch into crossbowmen. They are more effective against armored targets. And it's the same for spears. Even if they have mass horses, you can go into men-at-arms specifically. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be only spears just because they have cavalry. Because they could have cavalry archers. And spears have really bad armor against ranged. So let's say if we've got like 10, 15 spears and we're really happy about that in terms of countering, then we get the upgrade. But if we don't, we just forget about that and we start making men-at-arms. And you can double them up on them, right? They cost 120 resources, so we're saving 120 for every double man-at-arms we make. Crossbowmen cost 120 as well, so they're just as worth it to use stone on to duplicate them. We go into the barracks, we go into the archery range, we finished our siege engineering, we get more upgrades, and then basically on the battlefield we start making springles. We keep up men-at-arms production, we keep up well, not archer, we keep up crossbowmen production, and we keep sending villagers to wood or gold as needed. We can see that we've got really nice wood and gold income, in fact even more gold than wood, which means we need to send more to wood in order to stabilize our economy. And keep diversifying your income as well. If you see one thing is running empty, then prepare for another. If the deer are running empty, then you want to prepare for more berries or another deer somewhere. And you make a bunch of springles. Then we have like 2 or 3 or really any amount. You're gonna use them. So we've got 8 archers. We now have 6 crossbowmen. And then we have 9 spears. So we also have 5 men-at-arms. We keep making men-at-arms. We keep making crossbowmen. And our economy is pretty well spent, so we've done a decent job despite, you know, standing still sometimes and explaining this and that. This is your army. Now you're gonna want to make sure that you keep spreading out outposts. Of course, always before I say it, okay? When I say it, I think of it, but when I needed it, that's before I thought of it, and that was a while ago. So you're gonna use these outposts to have your movement speed aura. Only Abbasid dynasty is able to make these things on the battlefield. We're going to use signal arrow. Abbasid and Mongols are able to use it on the battlefield. The springald production. Nobody else can do that. So when your Uvu runs out, you're going to remake it here. And don't worry about relocating literally all of your buildings to be around there. Okay, we have clearly become imbalanced in our food consumption, not enough food, but at least we can still make both springles and mangonels in the battle. The springles are really good. They have 8 ranged armor, which means they take next to no damage from most ranged units. And then you start attacking people. And they do really well, springles. They do well into cavalry, into men-at-arms. The biggest problem, of course, is they don't want anyone to get the jump on them. So don't let them get the jump on you, lol. And that's it. You should be able to do a really good attack with this. And if you're feeling good about your chances, you can start to make a ram as well. And then there's all the usual stuff, like make a marketplace, use traders, keep using blacksmith upgrades, and so on and so forth. But that's classic gameplay that I'm sure none of you would make any mistakes in without help. I hope you got a cool little build order idea here with all the different options, and that you have an attack plan as well, which is to make 2 unit types, usually archer plus a front line, spears at first and men-at-arms, and then that you've been convinced of the power of the springles. Die, French knights! They've got a great range. Their range can be upgraded later on with the siege engineering upgrade next to the Uvu. And that's one tip you're definitely gonna want to remember. I'm just gonna power build that to show it to you. Make sure to kind of group your units separately, right? You've got men-at-arms in one group, and then you've got crossbowmen in another group, so that you can kind of kite those. You can use Z formation in order to have effective positioning, blocking your springolds, and making sure that your crossbowmen and archers attack more different targets, rather than overshooting into one target. And if you ever get attacked, you're going to use maneuver arrow, and then you're going to disable the formation, so you're going to run away. Look at how fast those springolds are. That's insane. They were 153 speed for a while because of the Yam Arrow as well as the Maneuver Arrow. You can even improve upon that. If you get this, the Whistling Arrows, having a 7-second increase on the Signal Arrow and a bigger range. This costs you 350 bonus stone. It's a super worthwhile upgrade. It can be used on your hero unit, the Khan. I recommend getting this whenever you feel like you've got the bandwidth for it. And now to show you the Siege Workshop upgrade. The Roller Shatter Triggers. It costs 500 stone and increases the weapon range of Springolds by 3 tiles. This allows this siege unit that's good at killing other siege units to outrange everyone in the game. They've got a range of 13 and it is super powerful. Also make note of the amount of damage that Springolds do. 60 damage plus 20 versus siege, that's 80. So 3 Springold shots kills the Springolds. Therefore it's very important that when you're targeting the opponent's Springolds, you click them and then you select 3 and then you click another. And in this way you one-shot both enemy Springolds and then you shift click away. You don't want to overshoot, because if you use 10 Springolds on one enemy Springold, that's a lot of wasted damage. That's the plan. Happy killing them with rams and Springolds and a nice mixture of men-at-arms, archers and crossbowmen. Hope you enjoyed the build order, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much.